What's up, guys? I'm Travis, and you're watching Upgraded RC. Come on! Come on! Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to our upgraded Promoto MX build series. Guys, I've got just a couple of the upgrades here on my bench that we're going to be doing to this bike. I've got all the tires, and we've got the Supermoto tires for concrete. I've got the hole shot tires. We're going to wrap them right around some of these Vidavon aluminum wheels. We've got the Vidavon swing arm here and the pole knuckle, and oh god, I've got all kinds of aluminum hubs and crash structures and you name it. There's all kinds of stuff here, and believe it or not, this is only about half of what we're going to be throwing at this bike, so there's quite a bit more. If you guys are interested in this, tag along with me. I'm going to show you how to put these parts in. I'm going to tell you what the pros and the cons are of them and what the benefits are. And we have got a lot of them, guys. Like I said, there's a lot more coming. We're going to do just about everything to this bike you can possibly do. Now, in today's video, number one of our upgraded Promoto MX series, we're going to have to replace the battery tray with the aluminum one, both front and rear. And also we're going to use the aluminum rear mount for the fender. I got in a pretty bad wreck not too long ago. I think I showed it on the last video. I'm going to show it again for you guys. We ended up breaking off the latch for the rear part of the battery tray here, battery box, whatever you want to call it. I also broke the mounts off of the seat here that hold on the rear fender mount, so that's what we're tackling today. We'll get that all squared away. It wouldn't be my first upgrade by choice, but it's kind of my first upgrade by necessity because without this, we can't really run it. So like I said, these are the parts we're going to be using today. We have got the rear part of the battery tray with the latch here from GPM. We have got the front part of the battery tray here from Treal, just because I couldn't get it from GPM. And I started looking at this, guys, and this is where the rear shock is attached to, is right here. And the stock piece is plastic. I don't really want my rear shock attached to a plastic piece. This is going to make it much more stout, way more stable. And then we also, from GPM, we got the aluminum rear fender mount here in blue. And then we had to get the stock seat. This is a package that comes with everything I showed you here, but it's all plastic. I could not find the seat in a better upgrade, so we had to go with the stock low seat plastic one. And by the way, guys, everything I do for all these upgrades, we'll go ahead and put these parts in the description, links to them, so you guys can find out where I got them, how much they are, all that good stuff. And besides that, we're also going to be weighing each part that we put on here for upgrades, and I will keep a running tally so we know exactly how much weight we've added to this Promoto MX by doing what we're doing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be heavier than stock, but hopefully not too much and doesn't hinder us any. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do here is lift up the rider's jersey a little bit so we can access this cotter pin right here. We'll go ahead and take that out. And then we pick up his jersey a little bit more, and we can go ahead and push that pin through his torso and come out the backside. There's the pin we're removing right here. We'll put that next to our cotter pin. Now we can literally take our rider's torso and just go ahead and flip him up on the handlebars. Looks like he's doing an endo or kissing the front fender there. Now we're left with the legs here. This piece right here, you go ahead and turn this a quarter turn, and this little cap right here pops off. That's what's securing the rider's legs. You can set that aside, and we'll pull the legs off. Now the legs are a little bit hard to get off. They are attached to the foot pegs down here, so go ahead and push them off the foot pegs first, and then after you do that, the legs come right off, no big deal at all. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 Allens out here. You've got 2 here in this number plate, and then you've got 2 here in the front part of the cowling. We're going to take all 4 of those out of both sides, so there's 8 bolts coming out, and that's going to expose our seat. Okay, so once you get your front cowling off and your number plates, Now we're going to need to go ahead and remove this Allen right here and this Allen right here above your battery connector. Both of these are in this aluminum housing here. And then you're going to flip it around and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go ahead and remove this one right here and this one right here. Now besides that, in this little pocket, this hole right here, that is how your rear shock is attached. The eyelet is attached to the bottom of that front battery tray like I was talking about. So we'll have to remove that as well. And then the whole seat will come off and the battery tray and everything will just come off after that. Long-winded bolt here for your shock. There you go. Got that out. Now we should be able to just lift this whole thing right off here. There you go. There is our seat and our battery tray all complete. Here's what I broke right here. You can see the little latch right there broke, and then on the seat you can see the two plastic tabs that broke off right here. So we'll be replacing this and the rear mount and everything else. Now when you take this off, you've got these two little spacers in here. These are what go in either side of the battery tray here, the one on either side, so if it falls out, that's where it's at. You'll have to remove both of those to get the battery tray to separate. Go ahead and take those little spacers out, and now you can pull the rear part of the battery tray off. And here's the front one. For the front one, we'll need to remove these 4 Allens right here, which will go ahead and take this away from the seat. And that's about it, guys. Once we get that off, to replace our seat, we're going to have to remove this post here as well, which I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll take this off to show you, but there's 3 Allens in here as well that are going to need to come off to get this post off. And that's it, guys. I guess we'll probably take this off because it's in good condition. We'll save our little clip right there. And, well, let's get the other stuff out of the package and do some weighing here. All right, let's go ahead and get our camera focused over here on our trusty scale. Let me get it a little bit closer here for us. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and start with the front part of the battery tray in plastic. This one looks like it weighs 26.7 grams. We'll be doing everything in grams right now, guys, and then we can convert it to ounces at the end or whatever we decide to. Let's go ahead and do the aluminum front part of the battery tray now, see what the difference is. Ooh, 33.4, so it is definitely a little bit heavier. 33.3 is where it's stopping at. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the rear part of the battery tray in plastic. It is coming up at 27.0. 27.0 for the rear. Let's see what our aluminum one's coming in at. Feels like it's heavier just by picking it up. Oh yeah, 47.3. Okay. Next we'll do our rear mount for the Fender. 10.0. And then we'll do the aluminum piece for the rear fender. 23.1. So everything had a significant gain in grams here for sure, guys. All right, I'm writing all this down so we can keep track of it. All right, next. Well, if any of you want to know, I did do a total on the 3 parts we're replacing with aluminum, and we are exactly 40 grams heavier with these 3 parts, which really isn't that heavy, guys. And I mean, for the strength we're going to get and the stability this is going to add to our rear shock, I think it's worth it. Okay, so we got our seat here. I went ahead and took off that front part of that battery tray. Now we'll remove these 3 Allens I was telling you about that hold the post onto this seat. I did not get a new one of these, so we need it. There's nothing wrong with it, so we'll go ahead and use it again. Pull these out. There you go. Now that is removed. We're going to clean this up just a little bit, and I'll go ahead and put it back on the seat in the same exact orientation that we took it off. Okay, so we went ahead and got our post mounted up on the other seat, and we've got the front part of our battery tray mounted up here. Now, on the rear part, we're going to have to take these 2 Allens out right here so that we can get our exhaust pipe off, which is going to go back onto the new aluminum rear piece. right here. So we'll go ahead and put that back on. Now guys, I did get 2 of these stock battery tray and seat parts for a reason. I can't get an upgraded seat, and I think this is probably going to happen again, so I wanted to spare, but that's okay because this gives us the opportunity for me to take this out, and I'm going to show you guys the stock plastic battery tray setup and the aluminum tray battery setup. We're going to put batteries in them, and we're going to see which one fits better, which one gives us more room for our wires. So we'll have a little bit of, we can compare there. We can do a comparison between the two. Okay, let's go ahead and pull our stock plastic battery tray out here. We've got our aluminum one here. I've got 2 batteries exactly the same, Power Hobby 2S 8000 milliamp 120C displacement. Let's go ahead and stick this one here in the aluminum tray the way that we would. We're going to run our balance lead down here on the side like so, and go ahead and close this up. Well, that has left a decent amount of room for our battery leads there. Let's see what this one here is going to do. The balance lead back down on the side just like the other one. Okay. So it does look like there is definitely more room on the height and more room on the side for the battery cables to fit. So the aluminum piece is giving us a little bit more room. Let me see if I can get this up close to compare this for you guys. Well, there we go. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but the aluminum one is here in this hand, and here is the plastic one. There is quite a bit of difference, guys. On the very top right here, it's probably hard for you to see, but I have more room right here above the battery cables than I have here on the plastic one. Also, they went ahead and took off a little bit more meat right here on the side where your cable is going to wrap around like this. This one here has still got quite a bit of that plastic meat left, which is what I ground out before on the other video. So definitely, for sure, I would say the aluminum one is giving you a little bit more clearance for your battery cables here. They both seem to fit very nice. There's no sliding or anything there as far as that goes. And also I noticed right here, see this gap right here? This one is very difficult to close because of that extra little bit of plastic. That's why I modified the first one. This aluminum here closes up nicely. Nice and tight, no problems at all, and you still got plenty of room for your cable. So I think that this is going to be a great upgrade just to keep your cables out of harm's way, and also it'll make it a lot easier to get your battery in and out and be able to close it and put your cotter key on. Okay guys, a little tip here. Go ahead and put the bolt in your rear shock first. And I went ahead and I stuck my seat underneath the rear wheel here to pick up the rear wheel, which picks up the rear shock, and that way you can see the eyelet and the bolt will go right in. It's a lot easier. And then you don't have your screws on for the seat yet, so you can pull the seat up and down. You can really get a good look at it and make sure you get that bolt in there. Now don't tighten the bolt down on the shock when you get it in there. Just get a couple good threads on it and leave it. Now we're going to go ahead and I'll pull this seat back out from under the tire, let it relax, and then go ahead and put your front screws in here and your rear screws, and don't tighten anything down yet until you've got it all in there. Once they've all got a couple good threads on them and they're all lined up, then go ahead and tighten everything down. And remember guys, on a lot of this you're putting a aluminum bolt or screw into plastic, so don't over tighten it. Just go snug and call it good. I noticed that the rear part of the battery tray where it's hinged did not want to open and close very easily. Where the 2 aluminum pieces mate together, eventually they will wear out a little bit and it'll be a lot easier to open and close. I went ahead and for now put some WD-40 dry lube in there. It's a PTFE spray so that you can spray that on there as a liquid. It dries and it won't attract any dust or dirt or anything. That made it a lot easier to open and close for right now. Just a little tip for you guys there. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our 2 front cowlings on and our 2 number plates, and then we'll go ahead and throw the aluminum rear mount for the fender on and our fender panels. Now, one of the things that I did notice here, guys, when I was putting the aluminum rear fender mount on here, it fits really good over these tabs, But when you go to close the door, it doesn't seem like the round part in the latch on the door wants to fit very well over this round peg here. So I did a little bit of scouting around here and I figured out what was going on. I believe that these two holes right here that fit over these plastic tabs on the seat have been milled out just a little bit too much, letting this go on a little bit further than it should, which is causing interference between the latch and the round peg on here. So it doesn't want to close very good. Now I did get it to close, but it was very difficult, and to get it back open again was even harder. Now I do believe in time, because they're aluminum, these two pieces mating back and forth together over time are going to go ahead and give a little bit of wear on it so that it'll close easier. But I don't really like what's going on for right now, so I went ahead and figured out what I would do to fix this, and it's a simple fix. Let me show you what I did. So here's what I'm talking about, guys. Right here, these two holes that go over the plastic peg sticking out of the seat, I believe they've just been milled out just a little bit too far, so it's not letting this peg and the hole line up correctly. So for my fix, what I did, I took two washers, or actually these are lock washers, but whatever you got that fits. I just put two washers in these holes and then went ahead and tightened it up, and it gave us the correct distance, and everything is smooth now. So there you go. All right, guys, we got everything back together. Let's see how well it opens and closes here. Listen for that snap. There it is. It's staying closed by itself. Comes open and closed real easily. The round peg and the round hole are mating correctly for the latch. That's how we're able to get that snap, and it's staying closed. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Those two washers in there did the trick. That helped us out. Success. Now let's try it with a battery here. Let's throw our 8,000 milliamp battery in here. We'll route the cables out the rear, and let's see how well it closes now. Listen for the snap. There it is. It's staying closed all by itself. Just enough room for me to slide that cotter key in and out. By the way, guys, this little rubber peg on the end of here that goes into the seat to hold your cotter key in, that was the hardest part of this whole build. I sprayed some PTFE on that thing trying to get it in there. You just really got to work it. It takes a minute. But that was definitely the hardest part of this whole build. Other than that, guys, this was a success. I feel great about it. I love the fact that I can close this and get that snap, and everything stays up so I can slide the cotter pin in and out easily. You're not trying to squish it as hard as you can to get that pin in and out. I think it was great. All right, well, let's go ahead and get our guy back together, because he's been over the handlebars upside down for so long. I'm sure all the blood's rushing to his head. He's probably got a headache by now. So we'll go ahead and take care of him and put that back together. Well, all right, we got our guy back on there. We get the bike back together. I got it cleaned up a little bit. My battery's charged. This thing is ready to go. I believe that was a great first upgrade. It was necessary. Well, it was necessary for me because I broke my battery tray. Maybe not as necessary for you guys, but in the future, if you have a good tumble and you break your battery tray, well, now you know which upgraded parts you can get, how you're going to put them in there, and how to make it work great. You'll have success like I did. Now, I do believe that if I have another good tumble here, I mean, you could break the aluminum battery tray, but I really don't see it. I think what's going to happen is you're going to break those two little plastic pegs off the end of the seat where the rear fender mount attaches to. Guys, if anybody out there knows where I can get an upgraded seat that's better than the stock plastic one, please let me know. Comment down below and I will pass it on to everybody so we all know. I want everyone to have a good time with this bike, and you shouldn't be fighting over stupid little things like that that are going to keep breaking. That's why we're doing all this. We're upgraded RC. We try out better upgraded parts, and I let you guys know what the results are, the pros, the cons, and the benefits. I do believe that we're going to get a lot of strength out of this aluminum tray, as well as stability for the rear shock where it attaches to the front battery tray. So that's great, guys. Every little bit is a little bit tighter. It's just going to give it a little bit more performance and a little bit better. Well, with that being said, we are moving on to video number 2. I want you guys to go out there and go play, go bash, go crash, go do whatever it is that makes you happy. Just don't break your battery tray. Anyway, guys, I am Travis. You're watching Upgraded RC. Peace out.